and welcome to episode 10 of the Lonely Knitter podcast. My name is Laura and I'll be your host, and yeah, this is episode 10. I can't believe it. I'm in double figures and I haven't given up yet. It's testament to how much I'm enjoying this podcasting thing. It is Sunday the 2nd of September 2018 and I'm tired. The hair is all fluffy and doing its own thing again. It's been a very long but very fun weekend and I am very ready for my bed. But I wanted to record first because last week I recorded on the Monday. It was bank holiday Monday, so I didn't have to work, and that was fine, and I uploaded on the same day. But this week is a normal week and I don't have bank holiday Monday tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm at home on my own in the morning with Ellie, my daughter. If you haven't watched before, I have a 1.5-year-old daughter. And then I go to work in the afternoon and do a 9-hour late shift. So I won't have time to record once she's gone to bed. That's what I'm doing right now. It's late evening, we've got no natural light. It's 7 minutes past 9 and she is in bed. I've had my dinner, doing this. My fiance is watching the telly, and this is how I round off my week. If I don't record now, it's not going to happen until earliest Tuesday night, and to be honest, I work a full day on a Tuesday and I just won't have the energy. I know when it comes around to it on Tuesday I won't have the energy to record, and then I'll be disappointed, and I don't want to miss a week because I've had a few weeks of not missing a week and I'm really enjoying it. So I will get started. I think you can find me on Ravelry as Laura Robertson. You can find me on Instagram as The Lonely Knitter, and there is also the Lonely Knitter podcast group on Ravelry. We have got a giveaway going at the moment. If you watched last week's video, I showed all the things that I have gathered up for the video, and I have for the giveaway, blah blah. And I have also added to that this week. I've bought a set of 2.5mm knit prosings on 100cm length, circulars, fixed circulars, to go in the giveaway, because it's sort of a sock knitting giveaway. They're the things that I would associate with knitting socks. So those are added to it. I'm not going to show you the whole prize bundle again this week. I probably will show it next week, but just because I showed it last week, the video's there if you want to go and have a look at episode 9. And the Ravelry group is up if you would like to go over there. You just have to join the group and leave me a recommendation. That can be a recommendation of anything, and to be honest, it doesn't really have to be anything knitting related. It can literally be anything. So yeah, if you want to join in, go over there, join the group, and yeah, give me a recommendation for the giveaway. That is running until, I think I put until the end of September, because it's a new group and I wanted to give people the chance to see this and go over there and have a bit of time to do that. So it's running for a little while, and it definitely won't be my last giveaway because I've been gifted a prize that I also showed last week that I will be using for a future giveaway. Anyway, so I'll get cracking on this week's my show notes that I have written out, again, being committed. And I do post the show notes in the Ravelry group on a thread in there every time, or at least I am now. Started a couple of weeks ago and it's fine. They're not the most detailed in the world, but I do try to list the makers that I have used things from, and provide links where I can, and just put the names of patterns that I'm using and their designers and where you can find them. So hopefully that will be helpful if anyone does want to know or is interested in anything that I've made or am making or I'm thinking of making and would like to go and find those details. So we'll start with finished objects. I have nothing to show you. However, I have finished 3 things this week, but they were gifted almost as soon as they were finished. Now I know I talked about it last week, so I went to a baby shower today and I also saw someone on Friday who I probably won't see again before she has her baby. It's a friend of a friend, and she's just been really nice, so I made her a pair of booties. They are the Cutest Booties pattern by Stephanie Pearl McPhee, the yarn harlot, and I've had that pattern in my Ravelry library for forever, it feels like, and I feel like every single baby, whether it is in my family group or friends group that comes in, gets a set of those booties because they're so easy to knit. I can knit them on circulars. They're just like knitting a little pair of socks, but they are a booty shape, and they're so easy and they're so quick, and they take a few scraps of sock yarn. So I had a hitchhiker that was half or almost completely finished actually, knitted. I'm getting a tangle. That was almost finished, and I just didn't like it. I love the hitchhiker pattern. I've got quite a few by Martina Behm, or Beam, I'm not 100%. If anyone knows 100% how to say that, then please let me know. And this colourway, it just wasn't bothering me enough to wear it, and I thought I don't know anyone who would want it gifted to them. It's like a blue colour, and so I knit some booties out of that. I gifted them away on Friday. Last week I showed you a little hat, little green 2x2 rib baby hat that needed a pom-pom. That got a pom-pom and was also gifted away on Friday, and I then made a second one which I finished today, Sunday. I finished it Sunday half an hour before this baby shower. I also finished the hat that I showed you last week that was on the needles, again a 2x2 rib baby hat. This was in sort of pinks and purples, and it was gifted at the baby shower. So 3 things I finished this week, and I don't have them to show you. I'm getting in a real mess. I'll get to this in whips and explain why. Then, well, yeah, that's it for FOs. So not a lot on the FOs side, finished objects side this week, but there is a few things on the whips. So I'm going to start with my Floozy cardigan. So works in progress. This is in this giant, really thick bag that I was given by my auntie ages ago. It's a Cox and Cox bag, and I can't find them online at all. When I put in Cox and Cox, all I find is like furniture and home furnishings. But I love this bag, and I have no actual project bags that are sweater quantity or large bags, and this is all I have. So this is what a big project would always live in for me. So it's the Floozy cardigan by Libby Johnson, also known as Truly Myrtle. I showed you this last week. I haven't made tons and tons of progress since then. I know I was partway or almost through the colour work. I am now totally through the colour work. I love all of this. So this is the bag. So it's a cardigan. And you can see after blocking it's going to hopefully look a lot more flat and even. But I'm knitting the majority. So now it is, I've separated for the sleeves. So here, separated for the sleeves, and I've only knit a few rows down from there. The colour work is super easy on this. I would really recommend, if you want to knit a cardigan and you really like this sort of pattern and you're not used to colour work, that this is something that you really should try. The pattern is so easy. You never have more than one colour in a row, so it's all done by slip stitches, so you don't have to worry about pulling colours backwards and forwards. My main body of the cardigan, so it's all going to be in this colour from now on. I am done with the colour work, totally finished. This is all in Cascade Heritage, and my purple colour, which is called the Pop in this pattern, is also Cascade Heritage. And then this gorgeous pinky purple that I don't think you'll be able to tell on camera, but it does have sparkle in. It's not showing up like at all, no. But this pinky purple has stellina in it, and this is oh gosh, you know, your brain just totally disappears, and now I can't even think. It's Diane. Elm Tree Yarns on Etsy and on Instagram, post some beautiful pictures of Diane, and her yarn is just gorgeous. I've had a few skeins now and absolutely stunning. It's her Romeo and Juliet colourway. So this is a fingering weight cardigan. I've split for the sleeves and now I've just gotten it all the way down the body, nice and simple. I will be working on this, but yesterday marked the start of Monster Socks and I was like, I need to join in. This hasn't come around me because it is quite a big bag, quite a big bulky thing, and now I've just had a weekend away, which I'll talk to you about at the end in my week review section, and I needed something small like socks. So I had to finish these baby presents, so they all came along with me, and as soon as they were done I had wound up my minis to join in with the Monster Socks Cal 2018 Monster Sock. So if you go on Instagram, it's hashtag Monster Sock Cal K-A-L 2018, and basically you get all your sock yarn scraps, and starting yesterday, September the 1st, you could cast on, and you have until the 31st of October to finish. There is 31 days in October, isn't there? I can't remember. But until the last day in October to finish, which is not a problem. And yeah, you just knit like totally random socks. I have decided to go striping and matching on my first pair. Probably going to make more than one pair because this is addictive. I don't know if they're all going to be matching in stripes. I'm knitting them 2 at a time. This isn't my first attempt at 2 at a time socks. I have tried before, but I have had no success. Really didn't enjoy it. I tried a method where you cast on and then you cast on again. Basically you go from absolute stitch number 1 with everything on this one needle. I've been watching a lot of the Knitting Expat YouTube channel. I like to pick a podcaster and watch from the beginning, so that is what I've done. I've done it with Grocery Girls, Sandy by the Lakeside, Bakery Bears, tons of people. There's a few. Oh, my brain's just gone. At some point I will make a list of all the podcasts that I subscribe to at the moment. There isn't tons and tons, there's only a few because, as I said, I start right at the beginning, catch up. Haven't been watching podcasts forever, and when I am hello, you come say hi. Maybe want to say hi. This is Mimi, my cat Mimi. I've been watching Mina, Knitting Expert, and she knits a lot of her socks 2 at a time, and that she had a tutorial video and it said to knit like the cuff of one sock, put that on hold, knit the other cuff and then slip it on. It's like revolutionised it for me. I am loving it. So these were started yesterday morning. We've had a very busy week with a wedding and all sorts for our friends, and I will go into that a bit more in the week review section, but I woke up really early and had time, so I started my Monster Socks. They are living in this bag, which will come up in stash enhancement, and in here is the Cascade Heritage, that is the pop from my fleecy cardigan, which I'm now done with, and then a bunch of scraps. Now these are mainly, apart from 2, they are from Nora George yarns. I bought a couple of sets of her 10-gram mini skeins. Like I just bought, you can go on there and you can pick like random 10-gram mini skeins for like £2, and she'll just give you random ones. So I just went for 5, and it was like £4 postage, so £14, and I got 50 grams worth of totally random, 5 totally random yarns, 10 grams each, and I've done that twice now. So I have knit my little hearts for my wedding, which I've talked about in previous podcasts. I haven't worked on any this week, so I'm not going to get them out, but I've knit a little heart out of each of these yarns, and so I've got a little heart out of this yarn, and I've got a little heart out of this yarn, and all the other yarns in there, and then what I had left, which was approximately 6-7 grams of each yarn, I have balled up, split into 2, so I've wound it, halved it, wound it into little balls, just hand little tiny balls because they're so small, and then I'm knitting stripy socks and just knitting until that's gone, and then joining on the next one, and they will match exactly because I'm knitting them 2 at a time, so when I change on one side, I change on the other side every time. 2 at a time it takes just a little while to get used to, I am finding. It's not slowing down my knitting pace at all, but it does, like when I'm actually knitting, it doesn't feel uncomfortable. It actually feels no different whatsoever when I'm actually knitting. But the idea, because it's like an automatic response. I've been knitting socks since I was 17. I've been knitting them on circulars. Best part. Well, I've been able to knit them on circulars from the beginning, and I've tried it and done it a few times, but double points were my favourite. And then just in the last 5 years, I've only been working on circulars, and I've just not ever really seemed that interested in knitting 2 at a time. I think it's just because I was comfortable with what I had and what I knew, and I was like, I'm happy. But now, watching Mina, I got it right the first time. I'm really bad with people's names. It's like I'm also really bad with people's faces. And I'm watching this podcast, and every time I'm like, oh, it's Mina, and then I go to say it, and I'm like, it comes out something totally different. What did I call? I was talking to my friend about the grocery girls the other day. I was like trying to explain about knitting podcast. She doesn't know I have a knitting podcast, and I was trying to explain what I was watching when I was watching these knitting podcasts. And I was talking about the grocery girls and how cool they were, and explaining. And I called one of them Rachel. I know where I got that from. That was Hey Sister, because there's a Rachel and Hey Sister podcast. But I'm so bad with names. So I got a message from someone on Instagram who had messaged me first, calling me my own name. Happily had a lovely little chat with them, agreed to do a swap with them, and then a couple minutes later she messaged me again and called me a totally different name. So yeah, other people must do it too. Mina Knitting Expert. She is my new favourite podcaster. I think it's just something we seem to have a lot of things in common in terms of stuff that's happened in our lives. And I haven't moved around the world. My dad has, and I've been and seen him in all those places. He lived in Dubai for a good while, and I went out there quite a few times. But there's just lots of little things, and I'm like, oh, me too. So, yeah, and it's funny because when you watch a podcast and you watch a lot of it, you come to think of those people as friends, and then you have to sort of remind yourself, that's a stranger on the internet, and they don't know you exist. So, podcasting is very weird. I've had a few messages from people who are like, hi. Anyway, getting way off course here, man. So, Mina, she's just so good at everything, and she has a lot of enthusiasm. She seems so encouraging, and I was like, I want to knit how she knits socks. And I do get major second sock syndrome all the time. I'm always like, first one's done. It's like those, I've still got a pair of Potion Class socks, Bakery Bears yarn. I've knit 1 and a bit socks, and it's just been sat there for months. My slip stitch socks that I showed on the last podcast, I haven't worked on them this week. It's the second sock. I'm bored. So I'm hoping this will alleviate that. I know it will take me longer to finish even one sock, but they'll both be done at the same time, so hopefully I won't ever get that second sock syndrome if I'm working on them like this. But it is taking me a little while to get used to in terms of how I handle the yarn. I don't know if I should be flipping over, or I need to work out how I should be leaving the yarn at the end of each round, because I'm getting a tangle between my two balls and constantly having to unravel myself and twist until it all comes apart again, and it's a little infuriating, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm obviously doing something wrong and need to work out what's happened here, or how to not have that happen again. But so far it's going well. I haven't had a lot of time to knit over the weekend because I'm not going to knit at her wedding. I am known for knitting everywhere, and I think it actually meant quite a lot to my friend that I didn't knit at her wedding. She was quite surprised that I didn't try and pull my knitting out at any point. So yeah, I am very happy with the fact that I didn't knit over the wedding. But by the end of the weekend I was sitting there like this, because my hands, it's like my fingers are, come on Laura, you need something going on here. So yeah, those are my 2 works in progress. Nothing special, nothing nearly done. Well, the Floozy cardigan is very special, but I haven't worked on it very much, so there you go, nothing special. and they're plain socks, but Monster Socks, Cal. If you fall over and I have to write you again, I'm really sorry. The cat is going for my drink. Maybe don't even look at it. My cat's favourite thing is dunking her. Thanks. Dunking her. Mimi. Dunking her whole face in a glass of water. It's lovely. Anyway, so yeah, if you're interested, go on Instagram, put in the hashtag on the search, Monster Sock Cal, Monster Sock Kal 2018, and if you've got scraps, get going. I'm only knitting mine at the moment with yarn that I have already used for my little hearts for my wedding, but I'm hoping to try and really crack on them in the next few weeks, and then when I'm done, whatever I could have left over, I could maybe start a second pair if I finish these, because I am loving it. If you put that in the search on Instagram, there are so many amazing pairs of socks and amazing ideas going on, and I'm just really inspired at the moment. Anyway, so next section is stash enhancement. I've just realised I've left something over there, but it's fine, I will go get it before we start. The first thing I'm going to show you is something that I've had for a few weeks. I haven't shown it because I was sort of saving my things to show you each week because I thought that I wouldn't have much stash enhancement. However, I have had quite a bit, so therefore I haven't got this out to show you. But I am using it today, so I thought I might as well. What I am going to show you is this. So this is a socks project bag, literally, socks on a washing line. And it is from Duckpool Lane, who made the cat bag that I've been using most weeks. It is one of her small drawstring bags. It is perfect for socks. It is not that small, and it is Duckpool Lane. Drawstring, really nice. It's got the same fabric on the inside, and I just think her, especially the small, I mean all the bags seem really good value on there, and the small drawstring, this was only £15, and it feels really good quality. It's nice and sturdy, it stands up on its own, and I just absolutely love it. I love this colour. It's like a dark mustard colour. It's kind of similar to what I'm knitting my floozy cardigan out of. Absolutely love that colour. So that's what my knitting is in today, and this is just going to be going everywhere with me. Same as the cat bag. I love, I treasure both of those bags. I think they're some of my favourites that I've ever bought. I really want some more of hers. I'm just waiting for certain fabrics to come along, or certain I'm just waiting, because there's nothing in there. She had an update, and there was loads of things in the update that I liked, but I was at this wedding and I had no signal, and it loaded the page, and then I pressed to try and look at something a bit closer, and it took 25 minutes to load, ages and ages, wouldn't load. When it finally did, the bag that I liked had gone. It's fine, I'm happy to wait for updates. Haven't got a lot of money right now, so when I buy something, I want to make sure it is 100% the thing that I wanted. Don't want to regret anything afterwards. I know I would never regret buying from Leslie at Duckpool Lane, but yeah, I'm just waiting at the moment. So yeah, that's that bag. Other things that I have bought. Let's go with this one next. I love this packaging, by the way. Amazing. This is my first ever purchase from Lay Family Yarn. I've seen their stuff online, on Instagram, talked about in other places so many times, and haven't ever had any. And they had a big update, and there was loads of things in their online shop. And this is what I went for. I thought, I really want something. I want my first Lay Family Yarn. And I just was really struggling to pick. And then one of the yarns that I was pretty sure I would like sold out while I was looking at it. And I went back and I was like, I like that one, and picked it straight away. And I'm so glad I did. It was, when I bought it and I went back on the site and was just looking through everything again, and this was definitely my favourite of what was left to pick. And I'm really happy with it. So it's kind of a natural base, and then it has, you can really see the natural base, like the colour, it's a natural colour, and then it has these orangey reds, there's some pink, gorgeous like bubblegum blue, and then down here we have some purple and some neon pink, more of that blue, yeah, there's some really lovely dark purple speckles in there. And yeah, so it is called Unicorn Party. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 100 grams for 425 metres. And yeah, find at Lay Family Yarn on Etsy and Instagram. And that's lovely branding. It's really pretty. So yeah, this is my first ever skein of Lay Family Yarn, sock yarn, and it will be socks. I'm like, yes, I want socks out of this. I probably want to find something, a really nice match, maybe of the blue, for cuffs and toes, maybe cuffs, heels and toes at some point. I don't know, maybe I'll just knit them without anything extra. I can just really see that because it's got all that natural colour in it, to then have the like thick, solid cuffs, heels and toes, I think would be lovely. And then I'd have leftovers, lots of leftovers for other things. So yeah, my first ever Lay Family Yarn I got this week, and it came with a little packet of love hearts, which is always a bonus. This is my other yarny thing. Oh no, I have another thing. Wait 1 second. You know when you see like TV presenters and newsreaders and you think they're probably wearing shorts underneath the table and then like with the posh suit top on? Well, this is me with my Batgirl pyjamas on the bottom half, and then the top I'm wearing on the top. So, sorry about the rustling. I had to go to the wool shop. It's not my localist wool shop, it's my one further away in a local town called Beccles, and I needed some yarn for pom-poms for the hats that I knit and gave away this week. And while I was in there, they have a new Regia design line. I mean, it's not new, but it's new to them, and I hadn't seen it, and it's by K Facet. It's this one. It's got like pink, reds, like a burgundy, there's blue, there's yellow, there's like a dark mustard yellow, and there's green. And I saw it and I was like, oh, I really like it. I don't know if this one is just more expensive everywhere. That shop is quite pricey, I find, for a lot of things, but they have a nice little range. They don't do any hand-dyed yarns. They're very similar to my most local yarn shop, where they just sell commercial yarns. A lot have a high acrylic content, and they have a big older group of women. Like their clientele is older women, and much older women who are used to a certain yarn being a certain way and being a certain price, and they haven't got the market, they say, for the commercial yarns, which I totally understand. I do not run their business, so therefore I cannot judge or anything. I have not got an issue. But this was just shy of £11, I think. It might have been £10.95. It might be a little bit out there, but it was definitely over £10. But I really, really like the colour, and I just thought, yeah, I'm going to get it. So it is colour 03774. Charming. Yeah, doesn't say anything else on there. And it's just like every other Regia. It will be 75% wool, 25% polyamide. And yeah, so I got that one. I just saw it and was like, yes, I need. I also went into my most local wool shop this week because I had ordered some needles in. One thing I do not have to show you is the 2.5mm 100cm circular knit prosing. That's upstairs with the rest of the prize package, so I got that this week. I also got some 3.25mm symphony tips for their interchangeable needles. They were £4.95. I don't know if that's good or not. I feel like that's an okay price. I'm happy with that. I'm very happy with that, in fact. I ordered them for casting on the Bluesy, and then I ended up finding an old pony needle and casting it on with that because I was so desperate to cast it on, and it was only for the ribbing at the neck, and I was just like, I need to be there, I need to be done, I need to be starting this cardigan. So I got them. I will need them for like other little finishing bits on the cardigan, so it's fine, they will get used. And the other thing I got was this 4mm Knit Pro Symphony set of straights. And they are really short. They are the 15cm ones in the 4mm. The reason I got them is because I am knitting, sort of. I have a languishing whip, which is a Cozy Memories blanket knit from, but it's not a scrap blanket. It's knit from green and cream yarn, and it's a baby blanket for a family baby that is coming up in the next couple of months, and I really need to crack on with that, as well as my hearts and other things for my wedding. I might have bit off more than I can chew. I need to get started cracking on that. I have been using because it's a DK weight yarn, 4mm Knit Pro Zing double points, and then putting the little clover point protectors, sticking one on the end of one end of each DPN, and then using them like they were little straights. And then when she got these in and posted them on her Facebook group, I thought, well, they're actually just shorter than the Knit Pro things, so just a little bit shorter, and they're a proper needle. That means I've got my 4mm circular needle set free if I want it for anything else, but I have these straights deliberately for that blanket, so got those. Last thing I got was this card, because I'm going to be sending a package out to someone this week who sent me a lovely package, which is my next thing, but this is the last thing I got in that yarn shop. And she does these little cards, a local lady does these little cards and sells them in the yarn shop, and it is one of the scores. So this is Maltster's score in Lowestoft, and there's we have a few of these little paths, and she'd drawn and then painted all of them. And so yeah, she's done these. They're hand drawn onto this, like, sort of, you can see it's got a rough edged card. So, and it's got a little envelope in there. So I got that for this package I need to send out. So last thing that I got this week. Ooh. I'm not sure if you saw that. I will have to go back and have a little look. There's an address in the package, so I'll just have to go through and check. So this is a parcel that I received this week. I got a lovely card, and I'm not going to read it to you. And I haven't asked the person who sent me this whether or not I could share, so like their detail. I don't want to say their name or anything like that. I haven't asked, so I'm not going to. But basically, I spoke about on Instagram about how I was knitting these hearts, and I didn't have enough scraps and needed to save everything I had for these hearts for my wedding. So my wedding is at the end of October, and I'm knitting little hearts from the Love You Forever pattern by Tanis Fibre Arts, Tanis Lavely, I think, on Ravelry. It's a free pattern. They're lovely little hearts, knit all in the round, so you don't have to seam. There's just two little bits of kitchen stitch at the ends of tops of the heart, like up here. There. And I want them all to be different. And I didn't have enough yarn for them all to be different. And I had a lovely swap, which I talked about last time, or maybe it was the time before, from a friend that I'd made in Sweden. And I had that swap, and now I've had another one. So this lovely person contacted me and said, could you send me some mini skeins so that I could make more hearts? And I'm so grateful. I thought she would send me a couple, maybe 5, 10 at max. She sent me 20. So they're 5 gram mini skeins. 5 grams is just more than enough. It takes actually about 3 grams depending on the yarn for a heart. And yeah, she sent me all of these and some stitch markers. So I'm feeling really, really, really happy, like blessed, like kind of, I don't know, I can't explain it. This Ravelry group, like this Instagram page, this YouTube video thing, I'm making friends that I didn't. I called the Lonely Knitter for a reason, because I don't have any knitting friends and I am not part of a knitting community, and here I am getting into the knitting community, and it is amazing. I just feel really welcomed. So I am going to send her back some of mine, because I do have minis, the ones that I've already knit hearts out of. I've knit tons of socks over the years, so the ones that I've already knit hearts out of, what I've got left, I can make more minis up and send them back to her, and she's doing a Cozy Memories blanket, so she can add them to that. and I might send her some other bits because this is just really generous. She did tell me like who she thought some of them were by. I don't know if I which is which. There is some red hue in there, she said, and some opal, I think, or maybe she just said opal. But I'll just show you. They've been bundled up with yarn into bundles of 5. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And a lot of these are going to be great because I've got men at my wedding, and I just really would like to have some more masculine colours in for some of the more traditional men. And then here we've got some greens and yellows. This one, if this doesn't get used for a heart, it might well get used for a heart. I need to make something little for my fiance or my brother-in-law to be. Maybe I will make a heart from this, and that will be one of his favours for the wedding. They are both big Norwich City fans, So I think this might need to be his. And they both got season tickets and they go every home game, so that might be a Norwich City heart for our wedding. And we've got this one. I'm absolutely in love with the speckles. This one looks like it could be an opal. There's that gorgeous one. This one, oh, that is coming across exactly as it is. I love that colour. And then this really lovely, they would go so nicely together. And then last little bundle, speckles, and gorgeous pinks. I mean, that's blowing out. That looks way darker. Like in real life, that's a gorgeous pale pink. That's coming out like a purpley neon pink. And this solid, and this one with some light speckling, and then this one which has some stellina in it. I don't know if you can see the sparkle. And then she sent me some stitch markers. So nice. It's so lovely, so generous. So this one's got a tiny little snail, and this one says handmade. I don't know if you can read that. Handmade. And then this one is a progress keeper, and it has this heart. Yeah. So yes, very, very spoilt, but I now think that I have enough minis to make all the hearts for my wedding, or our wedding, so I'm really, really chuffed. I can see my eyes getting less and less open. It's gone, I'm so tired. So that's everything I have for stash enhancement, I think. Yes, definitely. So I'm on to week in review. My week review. I'm going to crack this out quite quick because I'm really tired. It has nothing, well, there is knitting in there. I'm going to talk about knitting in terms of when I did it in relation to everything that happened this weekend. So I am going to talk about it, but this is mainly like my life this week. So if you're not interested and you're happy with just having heard the majority of the knitting content, then thank you very much for joining me, and I will hopefully see you next time. Do go over to my Ravelry group and join that giveaway and the introduction thread. I've had so much fun reading people's introductions so far. It feels so great that people want to spend the time to go over there and actually say something to me. But yeah, go over there, join in if you want to, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Thank you very much for watching. But if you are staying, then also thank you very much. And I will start with last Monday. So last Monday I recorded late, but it was okay because normally I record on a Sunday and upload on a Monday, which is what I'm going to do today. But last time I recorded and uploaded on the Monday because it's bank holiday. Absolutely fine. Still went up on the same day. That's how I'm happy with that. I don't count that as having missed a week at all. But it does mean that I've only had 6 days of knitting and content to talk about before this podcast. Hopefully I'll step up a little bit before next one. So Tuesday I worked all day. I got in a very small amount of knitting on a Tuesday night. I think I might have finished the colour work for the floozy cardigan on the Tuesday night, and on the Wednesday I split the sleeves and then put that down. Because the deal I made with myself was that I would knit until the end of the colour work, and then I would put that down and make all of the presents for babies that I had to make over the weekend, or before the weekend. And I hadn't done that. I'd broken that rule and gone a bit further, but after I split the sleeves, I sat and had a little chat with myself and was like, no, come on, you need to sort this out. So Wednesday we were really busy. We were always quite busy on a Wednesday. It's our busiest day. I put weight on at Slimming World on Wednesday, which was not fun. And then on Thursday, I finished the hat, the pink and blue hat that I showed you last week for a little girl whose baby shower I went to today. And instead of casting on the green hat that I wanted to knit, I suddenly decided I had time to knit a pair of Cutest Booties by Stephanie Powell McPhee, and I cast those on and I knit them. By the Friday morning I'd cast them off. I then cast on for another green hat but didn't really work on it, did a few rounds and that was it. Friday afternoon I took Ellie, my 1.5-year-old, and met Chris, my fiance, over at our friend's wedding venue and helped them set up, and Ellie was very good. She played for a little while, sat in her buggy for a little while, ran around, just was outside, not like messing everything up, but was quite good I think. When she got restless I then left, so we spent a good portion of the afternoon. Basically we left the house at 12:30 on Friday and we didn't come back until today, Sunday. So I packed up everything for the entire weekend. So I went to this venue, set up, then Ellie got a little bit bored, so I took her to my parents' house, which is where she stayed for the weekend. So she had some dinner there, and we got changed, and then Chris joined me there after they were finished setting up, got changed, and then we said goodbye to Ellie, waved her off, left her with my parents. It was a child-free wedding, and left her with my parents. She had an amazing time. They took her to the Wetlands Centre, which is near us, which is like a little nature reserve thing, and they've got sheep and horses and deer that are so tame. They come up to the picnic benches for your food or to eat around you. I don't know 100% what they want. I thought it was for food, but then they stand there and eat the grass, so I haven't really got a clue. But they want attention. They're like dogs. They come over, they want to be petted. So they took her there, so she had a great weekend. I went with Chris, we went to the rehearsal at the church. He was a groomsman and I was a witness, and we did that, and then after that we went straight to a restaurant, and all of the groomsmen and their partners and all of the bridesmaids and their partners and the parents of both bride and groom all came. We had a big meal in the restaurant. It was absolutely gorgeous, and then we all went our separate ways. So Chris went back to the groom's house along with all the best men and groomsmen, and I went and stayed with their friend, who's, I'd say, also my friend now. She's lovely, who was the other witness, and someone else, one of the partners of one of the groomsmen. So we went back to her house and stayed there, which was very odd to be without Ellie and not in my house, and without Chris as well, and yeah, but lovely. They have a really lovely home. So I stayed the night there. We got there very late, just went straight to bed. But I'm an early riser now, and I never used to be, but I am. And I woke up at 6, which was fine, because I'd had such a manic week that I had no time to do my nails. I'm sure there was some knitting time that I could have cut out to do it, but it just didn't happen. So I woke up at 6, and I have a UV lamp and all the gel nail stuff. So I did my nails, and which is very odd for me, because normally my nails are just normal and a bit ragged, and I don't take care of them as much as I should. And then I cast on for my monster socks. So I cast on and knit the first cuff, and then put that on hold and cast on the second, and then didn't have any more time. We went to the wedding. It was perfect. I'm not religious in any way, shape or form. I would not get married in a church because it would be hypocritical of me, because I don't believe. However, I have complete respect for absolutely anyone else's views. Like, if you don't harm me in what you choose to do, then your life is your own and mine is my own, and I have no ill feelings to anyone. My friends do believe in God and are Christians. Not massively so, as in They don't practice, like they don't go to church normally. They did on the run up to their wedding. They might go at Christmas, I think. But they do believe in God, and their wedding, as a not religious person, I have been to a few church weddings and it's been lovely, and we've left and I haven't thought much more about it. I was in tears. I mean, these friends of ours are very good friends of ours, like mean the world to us. Like, they are one of the most important couples in our lives. They are my daughter's godparents. They are really important to us. And I cried all the way through that wedding. And even when I was signing the register as their witness, I was like sniffing away because I was so worried my nose was going to drip on their certificates. Just the most emotional day. And it made me almost want a church wedding. It was that beautiful. I've been to church lots as a child. Like, I was in church choir for a short amount of time. I love to sing, and I find church music, hymns, and really emotional. Like, it really like touch me, make me want to cry. And like, we sang Jerusalem, and I was just in bits. Absolutely loved it. Best wedding. It's one of the best I've ever been to. Absolutely brilliant day. Anyway, so I went back to their venue, which was amazing. We had some amazing food. They had a band that were awesome. Like, everything about the day could be described as awesome and amazing. The A words. I had the best time. And then we all stayed at the venue in the accommodation there. And at the last minute, at the end of the night, I don't drink and I don't need it. I was on the dance floor all night, makes no difference. And I do drink sometimes. It's just I don't like a lot of alcoholic drinks, and I wasn't bothered, so I didn't. But because I hadn't drunk, I could drive. And I went to McDonald's and got the groom's parents, the bride and groom, the best men, and some of our other friends and us, all McDonald's. And we had McFlurries and cheeseburgers and Big Macs between everyone, and chicken nuggets, and I had a hot chocolate. And yeah, we sat there and ate our food and all chatted, and then I went and took the bride's hair out, all her many hairpins, and then we all went to bed. And then I woke up at the crack of dawn again because I just can't, even though I went to bed after 2, I was up at 6 and I was just desperately trying to get a little bit more sleep. And I eventually got out of bed at 8, but everyone else was still in bed. And I put a film on Amazon Prime on my iPad, and I sat and knit on my socks, finished the second cuff, and then put them back. No, I didn't. I just finished the second cuff, that was all. And then watched my iPad for 30-40 minutes before the first person sort of rose and got up. And I didn't knit at all on the Saturday from when we left the house at about 11 o'clock. And I'd spent most of that time getting ready anyway, until the Sunday morning, which is quite a long time for me. I would normally be knitting. You normally wouldn't have more than a 4-hour gap without me knitting. Anyway, so it was amazing. And then we got to go, we had breakfast there, everyone had a nice breakfast. And then we went and got Ellie. I picked her up from my parents and she'd had an amazing time. Got home, and then I suddenly had a little rush on and decided I was going to finish the second green hat, and I did, and I made a pom-pom for it and put it on and went to this baby shower, and I actually managed to get a lift at the last minute. I was offered a lift to go there rather than having to drive myself, and I was so tired. I was really grateful. I didn't fall asleep in the car, which I thought I might, but it did mean I got to knit. So I transferred the first cuff back onto the needles and started knitting on 2 at a time, which is very different. And I much prefer the system of knitting your 2 cuffs and then putting them onto the 1 needle. And yeah, started knitting up some of my scraps. While I was there, I finished this first amount of yarn, probably about 3 to 4 grams on each, 3 grams on each side, I think. So 6 grams in total. It's my first sort of stripe in my monster socks. I'm going to do the cuffs, heels and toes from the purple. And we had an amazing time, baby shower. I knit all the way through it and no one said a word. And they all loved their presents. I got them other things as well, but their hand knit little hats and a pair of booties for one of them were in the bags, and they were very happy with their little things. And then we came back and I sat on the sofa with my little girl and watched In the Night Garden before it was time for bed. And she went down really easily because she's had a really, really fun weekend and I was very tired. And then we sat, ate our dinner and watched an episode of Desperate Housewives while I wrote up what I was going to talk about on here, and then I came in here and talked about it. So now it is 5 to 10. I have to be up when Ellie gets up in the morning. We have a morning together, but she will probably be up early because she went to bed at 7:30 tonight, which is really early for her. Been doing a battle of bedtimes for a little while. She just went down with no issue at 7:30. But she has been going to bed between 8:30 and 10 some nights, depending on how restless and upset she is. But then she has a big lay-in and sleeps until anywhere between 8 and 9:30 in the morning. So she does at least get the sleep. So it would be nice to shunt her back this way a little bit, and fine if she wants to get up a little bit early, but it does mean I'm probably not going to get a lay-in. So I do need to go to bed early-ish tonight to try and benefit from that sleep that she's having. So I think that's everything. So I'm into the next stripe. I'm really enjoying knitting these two at a time. It's all because of Mina, the knitting expat. But what can I say? The knitting community is amazing. It does make things infectious and make you want to knit all the things. That's why I'm knitting a fleecy cardigan. That's why I'm knitting monster socks. That's why I'm knitting them two at a time. That's why I've got this bag, because I originally heard about these on Bakery Bears. So yeah, I'm a sheep. It's wool. It's fine, it's all related, but I'm a sheep. I see things and I'm like, yay, they have that, I want that. So I'm probably going to say goodbye and I'll post this up tomorrow. Please excuse my incredibly tired face and my eyes, which are getting, I've got what Chris calls matchstick eyes, where really I need to be getting a matchstick and like propping my eyes open because I'm exhausted. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to sit here for a little while because I've been sitting with my legs crossed. My left leg is completely numb, slightly coming back with a bit of pins and needles, so I'm probably going to be going for a little while. I'm going to sit here and do my knitting. If you've got all the way through to 52 minutes, which I did not, I was going to do a short one tonight, I don't understand how that's happened. If you've got all the way through to 52 minutes, then thank you so much for joining me and lasting this a long way through. Please do go and enter my giveaway, join my Ravelry group, go and see me on Instagram because I'm loving it over there. I didn't really use Instagram before. I set up my knitting profile on there and I'm now loving it. So yeah, thanks very much guys, and I will see you next week. Happy knitting!